I'm delighted to be joined on the Alternative Show today by Siannen, who's the lead singer of the Stiff Lips. She's here to chat about the band and play us some songs. Hello, Siannen. How are you?
Hiya, Chris. I'm good. How are you?
Yes, very well, thank you. Thanks for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to finding out about yourself and the band.
Yeah, me too. Let's get right into it.
Okay, wicked. To start off with, can you tell us where you're based, who's in the band, and what everyone does in it?
We're based in Glasgow, central Scotland. The members of the band is myself. I'm on rhythm, guitar and vocals. Michael, the drummer, and Steve, the bass player. We did have Nicky on lead guitar, but he's just recently left, so we're on the lookout for a lead guitarist.
Okay, how did it all start? Where did you meet and how did the band come about in the first place?
I used to be a solo artist years ago, so it kind of all developed from there when I decided that I wanted a full band to perform my songs. I met Michael through his other band, who were called the Performance Enhancing Suppositories. They were a shock rock band.
Great name.
Yeah. Steve, he was in a band called the Decibel Freaks, and that's how I met him. So we've just met kind of organically through the music scene. We formed after the first lockdown last year in 2020.
Oh, okay. And who thought of the name The Stiff Lips and why did you choose it? That
was actually Nicky, who was our old lead guitarist. He'd always wanted a band called The Stiff Lips, apparently. So we just kind of went for it from there.
Where are the other band members today?
They're all being responsible adults away working.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, you've got 3 songs to play for us. So what's your first song choice today and why have you chosen it?
The first song choice is In Debt to You. I've chosen it because it was one of the first songs that I wrote for this band, and it was on our first EP, Lucid Screaming.
So when I'm climbing down the window pace, an oil struck goes up in flames, finding symbols for my shame. If you love us, we'll land in here. Forever in debt to you. Forever in debt to you. Forever in debt to you.
How would you describe the band's sound?
We're a bit of an amalgamation of everything rock and roll. I'd say we're a bit of a crossover between like 50s rock and roll and punk, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We all have very different influences, so I think that comes through in the sound.
What's the songwriting process for the band?
Basically, I write the basic structure of the song on acoustic guitar, and then I'll put a melody and vocals over it, and then I'll take that into the studio and we'll convert it over onto electric, and then Steve will put on the bass, Michael puts on the drums, and we figure out the leads from there.
Okay, and that's all done in a rehearsal studio generally, is it?
Yeah, sometimes we'll demo the songs if we've got the time, but most of the time we just do it in the studio.
Do your songs have any consistent lyrical themes?
A lot of my lyrics are kind of about feeling a bit kind of left out and like I'm a kind of alien in the world. Like that's where a lot of my lyrical content comes from, and a lot of it's just about my childhood and people that I've met. Okay.
How many songs have you recorded currently?
We've got 6. We have our EP, Lucid Screaming, and our recent single, Music Ain't Dead.
I know that one. I've played it several times. Which recording studio do you use?
For Lucid Screaming, we used Audio Lounge, which is in Maryhill in Glasgow. For Music Ain't Dead, it was actually Michael, the drummer, that done a home recording on that one.
Okay. And what's the recording process you usually follow when you're in the studio?
We usually do it live, and then I'll put vocals over the top.
Oh, that's interesting. So the finished song is all a live recording. You don't go in and go over any of the tracks?
No, it's all done live. The only things that aren't is the lead guitar gets put over the top and the vocals, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. What's your second song choice for us today, and why have you chosen it?
It's White Rabbit. I've chosen it just because it has a slightly different sound to the other two. The other two are quite kind of grungy, punky, whereas this has a bit more of a psychedelic sound to it.
The wise man held his hand out to me and said, "You'll learn how to hate eventually." I couldn't muster a simple word, and my whole world had gone unheard. A white rabbit,
Where have you performed live?
We've performed a lot around Glasgow. I work in the 13th Note, which is a venue in the Merchant City in Glasgow, so we've played a lot in there. We've played Nice and Sleazy's, the old hairdressers. Just mainly in Glasgow. We've got our first Edinburgh gig, which we're looking forward to, which is in the Student Housing Association, which will be interesting.
Okay, and have you got any favourite or least favourite venues that you've played in?
I think my favourite is the 13th Note, just because it is like a proper DIY kind of dive venue. And they support musicians. Musicians always get paid. My least favourite, I would say, is probably Broadcast, just because, not for any reason like playing live, it's more like they don't support you promoting any other venues, gigs in Broadcast. They don't let you put up posters or anything.
That's strange. Okay, and have you got a favourite song to perform live?
My favourite song is a new one that I've written just recently called I'm Angry, that's went down really, really well at gigs. Like, it just has a really, really fun vibe to it.
Okay, and any plans to have Steve playing his violin on any songs?
I wish he would. I would love to have some violin on there, but I think it'll take some convincing.
Steve, are you listening? You describe yourselves as cataclysmic rock and roll against the mainstream. Who came up with that and why?
That was our drummer, Michael. He has quite a way with words, so he does. It's basically that we don't conform to the mainstream. We just write what we like and we do what we like. Like, we're not trying to end up on record labels or on the TV one day or anything like that. We are just doing it through passion.
Okay. What's next for the band this year?
We are playing quite a few gigs. We've got a couple this month, and then we've got another 6 this summer. And we're planning, hopefully, to record another EP in the winter time.
Perfect. Okay, and finally, what interests or hobbies do any of you have outside of the band?
I'm a horsey girl. I've always loved horses. They're like my therapy. I've got 2 of my own. With Michael, he's really into recording, like music recording. He's got his own kind of DIY home studio set up, and he's really, really passionate about that. And Steve's an artist. He does a lot of painting, he does a lot of graphic design. He's just a very creative being.
Brilliant. Okay, and what's your final song choice for us today and why?
Our final track for tonight is Music Ain't Dead. I've chosen this because it's our latest release.
Perfect. Thanks for joining me today, Siannen. Let's keep in touch and all the very best.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. That was Siannen from the Stiff Lips, and this is their latest release, Music Ain't Dead.